writer of Lamentations said, "It is good for a man when he hath borne the yoke from his youth." A yoke is not a burden. A yoke is something that helps you bear the burden. A burden must be borne. The yoke is something that helps you bear it. Now you may whine and complain about this burden you are bearing. It is too hard, you might say. I can barely go much farther, you cry out. Do you know why it is so hard? Do you know why you feel like you cannot bear it much longer? It is because you have not entered into the yoke with Christ. For again, Christ says, "My yoke is sweet and easy, my burden is light." If you allow Christ to enter into the yoke He has for you and allow Him through grace to help you pull that burden, it will no longer be hard to pull. It will be a sweet yoke because Christ is pulling with you. Your yoke will not be the burden, it will be a tool to help you carry the real burden. The Lord said, "My yoke is sweet and easy, and my burden is light." And I thank God for a load. I thank God for responsibility. I, like Paul, thank God for the tribulations and such that I have been given to carry. Sometimes the burden gets heavy. Sometimes the load gets a bit heavy, but not when Jesus is being allowed to pull with us. No, I thank God for a yoke. I thank God for a burden to bear. I thank God for work. I thank God for a purpose in life. Now then, the writer of Lamentations said, "It is good for a man when he hath borne the yoke from his youth." Pay attention to the text. It is good for a man to bear the yoke. When? From his youth. What the writer of Lamentations is saying is this: not only should the adults have responsibilities and have a load to carry, but the young people ought to carry the load as well. What does it mean? It means the young people ought to be surrendered to Christ and allow Him to help carry the burden like anybody else. Get under the yoke. It means young people ought to be involved in the things of the church so that the church can help them carry that load. It means not only teenagers, but the little children should be learning about the church, getting involved with helping the poor, praying their prayers, etc. In other words, get in the yoke and carry a burden from their youth. A little child's burden will not be the same as the teens, and the teens will not be the same as an adult, but it will be the one Christ has chosen to help carry, and it will be the right one for them.